So let's go to polymers. Okay, so polymers. So ano ba yung polymers? We have discussed about metals, we have discussed about ceramics. Now we go to polymers, and polymers are the most used. They are mostly you would see them in the products that we are using today. No, polymers. Okay, so of the three basic types of materials wherein we have metals, ceramics, and polymers, and of course we have the fourth one, which are the composite, but composites are already, most of them are already synthetic, no, or majority are synthetic products already. Okay, polymers are the newest, and the same time the oldest known to man. Okay, when we say polymers, they form the living organisms and vital processes of all life on Earth. So to ancient man, biological polymers were the source of food, shelter, and even their basic needs and implements. So however, the focus of this particular topic is on polymers that we use for synthetic production, not those that are biological. So with the exception of natural rubber, nearly all of the polymeric materials used in engineering today are synthetic. So the materials themselves are made by chemical processing. So usually they are subjected to high temperature, and then they are molded and casted so that most of these particular products are made by solidification processes. Okay, so today we will discuss the fundamentals of polymer technology and the different types of polymers, which are thermoplastic, thermosetting, and elastomers. Okay, so we define first what is polymer. So polymer is a compound consisting of long chain molecules, each molecule made up of repeating units connected together. So usually we call them mers, no, mers, the repeating mers that will be connected or bonded together or grouped together so that they would become what we call polymers. No? So there are maybe thousands, even millions of units in a single polymer molecule. So the word polymer is derived from the Greek words poly, meaning many, and meros, reduced to mer, meaning part. So most polymers are based on what we call carbon and are therefore considered as organic chemicals. Okay, so let's go first to the types of polymers. No? Polymers can be separated into plastics and rubbers. And as engineering materials, they are relatively new compared to metals and ceramics, dating way back, no, from around the mid of 1800s. So for the purpose of covering polymers as a technical subject, it is appropriate to divide them into three categories. So we have the plastics, and first we have the thermoplastics, no, and then we have thermosetting polymers, and the third one we have the elastomers, or we call them rubbers. Okay, so the one and two are plastics, and the third one are rubbers, natural rubbers. Okay, for the thermoplastic, this is just an introduction. No? Thermoplastic polymers, they are also called thermoplastics, or their symbol is TP. Okay, so the solid materials these are solid materials at room temperature, but viscous liquids, they are viscous liquids when heated to temperatures of only a few hundred degrees. Okay, say about 450 to 600 degrees, no? They would become viscous liquids. So these characteristics allows them to be easily and economically shaped into products. That's why they could be molded and casted into molds so that they are formed into different products. So they can be subjected to heating and cooling cycles repeatedly without significant degradation. So one significant economic benefit of using thermoplastics is that they may be recycled, and scrap thermoplastic pieces may be remelted and reformed into new shapes. So like PET bottles, no, we've done it before with my IEs. We have experimented on melting PET bottles, and then which are called polyethylenes, and we have shaped them into other things like floor tiles, wall tilings, and even other manufacturing companies shape them into tables and chairs, plastic table and chairs. Okay, so next are the thermosetting polymers. No, they are called thermosets, and they are symbolized by TS. And these thermosetting polymers cannot tolerate repeated heating cycles as thermoplastics can. So that is the difference between thermoplastics and thermosets. They cannot be repeatedly heated. I'll check first my chat. Okay. So bad pause. Yes. Okay. Yes, correct. Yes, correct. No? So reheating thermoplastic is bad to our environment. If they are reheated, they would, yes, thank you for that, Miss Santos, Kyra, yes. No? Because they would be producing many what we call greenhouse gases like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, hydrogen. Okay, so therefore we need to clean. No, they have to clean when they try to recycle this particular plastics. They have to clean it. No, clean the gas. No, that would go out of their chamber or of their what do we call this, smokestack. Okay, yes, correct. Okay, but they recycle it because they would want to do sustainable practices. Okay, thank you for that question. Okay, so I would proceed. No more questions on your part. Yes, thank you also. So so usually in thermosetting, ano ko lang yung chat na. Okay, so they are subjected to elevated temperatures, which could also produce a chemical reaction that hardens the material into an infusible solid. So if reheated, this particular polymers thermosets degrade rather than soften. So thermosets are really difficult to recycle, unlike thermoplastics. They do not melt. They are usable at higher temperatures than thermoplastics and are more chemically inert. Okay? So that's the difference between thermosets and thermoplastics. You can even Google more for their characteristics. Okay. So let's go to elastomers. Okay, so when we say elastomers, these are rubbers. So polymers that exhibit extreme elastic extensibility when subjected to relatively low mechanical stress. Okay, so some elastomers can be stretched. So pwede silang stretch, no? Because they are rubbers by a factor of 10 and yet completely recover to their original shape. So they could go back to their original shape. Although their properties are quite different from thermosets, they share a similar molecular structure that is different from the thermoplastics. So they inherit the unique property of regaining original shape and size after being stretched to a great extent. No? So usually, pwede silang bumalik dun sa shape nila even though you subject them, no, to particular tensile tests. Okay, So let's go to current state of global plastic in our industry. No? So thermoplastics are commercially the most important of the three types, constituting about 70% of the tonnage of all synthetic polymers produced. That's why you would see that your soft drinks, your plates, no, your spoon and fork that are disposable, plates that are disposable, and even now natawa ako, no, yung mga bilao, you know, bilao, they already have plastics, no, made of bilao made from plastics, and all, and so many other plastic products, no, from recycled plastics. And thermosets and elastomers share the remaining 30% about evenly with a slight edge of the thermoplastics. No? So 70-30 ang distribution nila. With the plastic consumption in our market, you would see the different statistics on how you really use plastics. That's why today, no, with sustainable practices, they reuse plastics as raw materials, but with that, no, they have to clean, no, they have to treat the gases out of the use or out of the production of recycled plastics. Okay, so let's go now to different examples of the polymers. Okay, with the thermoplastics, we have polyethylene. Those are what we call the shampoo bottles that you use, the plastic grocery bags that we use in our groceries. That's why now they make use of oxo biodegradable or biodegradable plastics that would within some certain months would degrade, no, or biodegrade in our environment. Bulletproof vests are made from polyethylene polymers or thermoplastics. Okay, we have the polyvinyl chloride. These are the PVCs that we use for pipings for our building and house constructions. Okay, we have the polypropylene, or sometimes it is called polypropene. So it is used for packaging and labeling in textiles such as carpets, thermal underwear, stationery, then laboratory equipment, loudspeakers, polymer banknotes. Okay, so it is resistant to a lot of chemical solvents and acid and even bases. Now we also have the polystyrene. Now, polystyrene can be a thermoplastic or a thermoset. No? It is used for disposable cutlery, yung mga spoon and fork natin, and knives, no, that you when you eat to McDonald's and other fast food, CD and DVD cases, plastic bottles, smoke detector housings, packaging materials, insulation, and even foam cups. And lastly, nylon. No? This is a silk plastic used to make fabrics, carpets, ropes, musical strings, and bridal veils. Okay, so let's go to thermosets. We have phenolics, epoxies, and certain polyesters. Now for phenolic resins, this could be tool handles or what you see on screen, billiard balls, sprockets, insulations. No? For epoxy resins naman, they are used as coating materials for caulks, no? Wherein these caulks are materials that are used to seal joints or seams against leakage in various structures and pipings. No? And then we have also what we call the unsaturated polymer resins, wherein they manufacture of plastic reinforced fiberglass, commonly known as polyesters or even fillers. And for the elastomers, we have the natural rubber, the vulcanized rubber, no, that we use for automotive industry and in the manufacture of medical tubes, balloons, adhesives, And then we also have polyurethanes. No? These are used in textile industry for manufacturing elastic clothing like lycra, no? Yung mga ginagamit sa mga suit, ano ba yan? Swimsuits, or even when you use for nani na, jogging pants, no, jogging suits, okay? And then you can have synthetic rubbers, which could exceed the tonnage of natural rubber nowadays, okay? So those are some examples of elastomers. Okay, so what could be the reason why polymers are important? So plastics can be molded into intricate part shapes. Usually no further processing is required. So it is very compatible with what we call net shape processing or net shape manufacturing. So the initial fabrication of a component to be close, when we say net shape processing, close na, no? The fabrication of a particular component is very close in size and shape to the finished product, as you see on the figure below, no, of this PowerPoint, wherein it is near to shape, okay? So on a volumetric basis, polymers are cost effective with metals, no? So usually the growth in the applications of these synthetic polymers is truly very impressive, and it has a consideration with regards to cost competitiveness of polymers over metals, okay? And usually there are also several reasons for commercial and technological importance of polymers. Polymers generally requires less energy than metals. This is generally true because the temperatures for working these materials are much lower than for metals. And even certain plastics which are translucent or transparent, which and or, no, it's and or kasi hindi naman transparent yung ibang translucent, which makes them competitive with glass in some applications. So polymers are really widely used in what we call composite materials, which could be a fourth, no, generation of the fourth type of engineering material. Okay, so what could be the general properties? Plastics possess an attractive list of properties for many engineering applications where strength is not really a factor. No? So we have low density, good strength to weight ratio for certain polymers, but not all. High corrosion resistance, yung nangangalawang, low electrical and thermal conductivity. So ibig sabihin hindi sila nangangalawang kasi nga plastic sila, no? Most of them are made from plastics. Okay, so what could be the limitations of our polymers? So on the negative side, polymers in general could have low strength, no? Relative to metals and ceramics. They have low modulus of elasticity, meaning in the case of elastomers, this could be a desirable trait or property characteristic, but with plastics, they have low stiffness, and then their service temperatures are limited to only a few hundred degrees because of softening of thermoplastic polymers or degradation of thermosetting polymers and elastomers. And some polymers degrade when subjected to sunlight and other forms of radiation. And there could be a fifth limitation wherein plastic exhibit viscoelastic properties, which can be a distinct limitation in the load-bearing application of polymers. Okay, so usually nearly all polymers used in engineering are synthetic. So they are made by chemical processing. And polymers are synthesized by joining many small molecules together into very large molecules called macromolecules that possess a chain-like structure. So the small units called monomers are generally simple, unsaturated organic molecules. Example, ethylene, which is wherein a mass of polymer material would consist of many macromolecules. So the analogy, no, in order for you to visualize, is a bowl of just cooked spaghetti without the sauce, no, is sometimes used to visualize this relationship of individual molecules to the bulk material. Now, synthetic polymers are sometimes referred as plastics, of which the well-known ones are nylon and polyethylene. Okay, let's go to polymerization, wherein it is a chemical process. No, we have said that they undergo a chemical process which is called polymerization, which is the synthesis of polymers that can occur on either two methods. Okay, so production of a given polymer is generally associated with one method or the other. It could be addition or step. Okay, let's go first to addition. Okay, so when we say addition polymerization, in this particular process, molecules of, let's say, for example, ethylene can polymerize with each other under the right conditions to form the polymer. It could be a polyethylene. So when ethylene polymerize with one another under the right conditions, they would be formed as polyethylene. So the connections occur on both ends of the expanding macromolecular, developing long chains of repeating mers, as you can see in number 3. Huh? So because of the way molecules are formed, the process is called chain polymerization. So at first, in number 1, it is initiated using a chemical catalyst. It is called an initiator. Let's say, for example, it could be a hydrogen peroxide to open the carbon double band into some of the monomers. And then these monomers, which are now highly reactive because of their unpaired electrons, then capture other monomers to begin forming chairs that are reactive. So in number 2, the chains propagate by capturing still other monomers one at a time until large molecules have been produced and the reaction is terminated in number 3. Okay, so usually N could stand for the number of monomers that are joined in repeated fashion to make the polymer. Okay, what about the step polymerization? Now, in this form of polymerization, two reacting monomers are brought together to form a new molecule, as you can see in number 1, no, of the desired compound. Okay, in most but not all step polymerization processes is a byproduct of the reaction. Of the reaction is produced. No, so the byproduct is typically water, which condenses, and the term condensation polymerization is often used for this process that could yield the condensate. So as a reaction, or as the reaction continues, no, as you can see in number 2, more molecules of the reactants combine with the molecules first synthesized to form polymers of length n equals 2, kaya nag-n plus 1 siya, no? Then polymers of length n plus 3, and so forth, and so on, no? And polymers of increasing n are created in a slow, stepwise fashion. So in addition to this gradual elongation, of the molecules, intermediate polymers of length n sub 1 Okay, that is on the letter B figure. Okay, N sub 1 and N sub 2 are also combined to form molecules of length N equals to N sub 1 plus N sub 2. So that the two types of reactions are proceeding simultaneously once the process is underway, as you see in our figure on letter B. So they would form, no, step by step. That's why it's called step. So N would be combining with other monomers to form a polymer on a step process. Okay, so as you can see now, this is an illustration of the difference between the two, chain growth and step growth. Or in chain growth, no, they would be combining a very large chain of mers, while in step growth, they would be broken down into different, no, N, wherein N sub 1 would form itself and N sub 2 would form itself, and they would be combined into one particular polymer in different step growths, okay? So that later they form what we call a polymer, okay? So some examples of polymers would be for addition polymerization is polyethylene, polypropylene, PVC, and polyisopropene. For polymers that are produced by step polymerization could be nylon, polycarbonate, and phenol formaldehyde. So many naturally occurring and some synthetic polymers are produced by step growth polymerization, such as polyesters, polyamides, and polyurethanes. Okay, and polymer molecule structures could be linear, branch, and cross-link. So there are structural difference among polymer molecules, even molecules of the same polymer. So the polymerization process has been described as yielding macromolecular of a chain-like structure, which is called linear structure. So this characteristic structure of a this is a characteristic of a thermoplastic polymer. So one possibility is for side branches to form along the chain, resulting in the branch polymer shown in what we call figure B. Yan, okay? And in polyethylene, this occurs because hydrogen atoms are replaced by carbon atoms at random points along the chain, which is initiating the growth of a branch chain of each location. So for certain polymers, primarily bonding occurs between branches and other molecules at certain connection points to form cross-link polymers as pictured in figure C and figure D. So cross-linking, no, would occur because of certain proportions of monomers used to form polymer, which are capable of bonding to adjacent monomers on more than two sides. Therefore, no, this would allow branches from other molecules to attach. Lightly cross-linked structures are characteristic of elastomer. So when the polymer is highly cross-linked, this is referred to a network structure, as you see in the figure letter D. So the entire mass is one gigantic macromolecule. So thermosetting plastic take this structure after cooling, okay? So that is now